way to usher in summer. Well, the war on Iran has been blamed for skyrocketing gas prices, shortages of fertilizer for farmers, and now parts of the world are noticing aluminum shortages. Caroline Elliott looks at whether Americans should be concerned.
A shortage of Diet Coke for some is worse than the 2020 shortage of toilet paper. In India, where Diet Coke is only sold in cans, the recent scarcity of aluminum due to the Iran war has sparked, quote, Diet Coke parties, with loyal consumers decorating cans of their favorite beverage as a token of their support.
So basically, this is our way of an ode to the entire shortage of Diet Coke. And with the aluminum can shortage, I think a lot of people are, trying to sort of keep the Diet Coke as an aesthetic, as a keepsake.
But here in the United States, aluminum industry leaders say it's unlikely shelves will go bare of the beloved beverage anytime soon.
Yes, this is serious. Yes, they are having to work hard to adjust, but that they are doing exactly that.
Aluminum Association CEO Charles Johnson says its members have been closely monitoring the situation in the Strait of Hormuz.
The disruption from the Gulf and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz is really serious for our industry. It represents a large-scale supply chain disruption, one that on a scale that we haven't seen in many years.
And at a time when gas prices have already skyrocketed due to the chokehold in the strait.
Our view is that it is a temporary increase.
Johnson says it's no surprise Americans are growing increasingly concerned about aluminum. Still, he says the industry is making real-time adjustments and working hard to secure the nation's supply does not run dry.
So we are investing in the U.S. economy like we never have before. We're putting more manufacturing right here at home, and we're recycling more.
And that was Caroline Elliott reporting. While there may not be a shortage of aluminum cans here in the U.S., aluminum prices are going up. They've now surged to 4-year highs since the war began.
Hundreds of thousands of Californians could be at risk of losing their food benefits with new federal work requirements set to take effect in just a matter of days. That change kicks in on Monday, June 1st, and CalFresh estimates more than 665,000 Californians could lose food assistance. Our Drew Andre breaks down the stricter rules and heard from advocates worried they will increase food insecurity in the Bay Area.
Starting next Monday, most people who receive CalFresh benefits will have to prove that they're working 20 hours a week, or they'll risk losing that much-needed assistance when they go to the grocery store.
More people than ever are still relying on food banks around the Bay Area. In fact, the Food Bank of Contra Costa in Solano County says the need has not dropped at all since the pandemic.
Folks are already struggling as it is to put food on their tables, to find employment, to pay their bills, and to add this is just, I feel, a slap in the face.
SNAP in our state, called CalFresh, helps families put healthy meals on the table. But the Trump administration passed stricter eligibility rules for recipients in last year's so-called Big Beautiful Bill. Republicans arguing it will reduce costs and promote accountability.
And unfortunately, this will just add to the food insecurity problem that our neighbors are facing.
The federal rule adds work requirements for adults 55 to 64, parents whose children are 14 or older, and veterans. Those groups alone in the Bay Area make up around 100,000 CalFresh recipients, according to data from California Food Banks. Second Harvest of Silicon Valley is already getting flooded with questions.
These kinds of changes, they just create so much confusion in the system, and they just add a lot of red tape to challenging times that folks are already going through.
There are exemptions to the work requirements, like pregnant women, anyone with disabilities, if you're caring for someone with disabilities, or have kids under 14. You're also exempt if you go to school part-time. We found you can use the pre-screening tool on the CalFresh Work website to determine if you're still eligible.
So we're really encouraging folks to call for that one-on-one assistance with our CalFresh outreach team or to your county eligibility workers. We're here to help.
Assemblymember Alex Lee is fighting for more CalFresh funding. He's requesting to put $100 million more into the program.
There are over 500,000 Californians who are going to be subject to bureaucratic paperwork that were not previously subject to the CalFresh before.
This is just the start of more cutbacks to CalFresh. The federal government will cut a quarter of administrative costs in the fall.
And this is all happening, of course, while there are cuts to Medicaid and other things.
It will take 3 months before people are kicked off the program, so food banks believe they'll really start to notice the demand come the fall.
The new eligibility requirements will only apply to new applicants and people recertifying their benefits. People who do not meet the new work requirements will only be able to receive benefits for 3 months in a 3-year period.
30-year-old Andromeda Vega learned this fuel pump trick from her grandma, squeezing every last drop from the hose.
Get the last drop out?
Yes!
With gas up more than 50% nationwide since the start of the Iran war, single moms across America are shouldering the crushing weight of rising costs. An estimated 7 to 9 million U.S. households are run by single moms. Of those, roughly 30% of them live below the poverty line, one of the most economically vulnerable demographics in the country. Andromeda is a nurse and says her number one priority is providing for her 7-year-old daughter, Athena.
What's the story of a single mom in 2026? I think we're just trying to make it.
Andromeda is a graduate of the Jeremiah Program, also known as JP, in Austin, Texas. JP is a national nonpartisan nonprofit that supports single moms with subsidized housing, childcare, and guidance across 9 cities as they pursue their degrees. August Tapia is a 29-year-old single mom to 3-year-old Aubrey. She's currently studying to become a nurse with the support of the Jeremiah Program.
What is it like to sit in front of your bills right now at this kitchen table?
It's a little daunting, I'm not gonna lie, even though I have the support of family and, like JP, the prices are just through the roof.
What worries you the most?
Not being able to afford groceries, not being able to give my daughter, 3 meals a day.
And the cost of gas eating into her budget.
I went from filling up my tank for $50 to $85 this last Monday. That $35 is, extra money.
What else would you use that money for if you had it back in your pocket?
Socks for my daughter, clothes for my daughter, extracurricular activities. If I wanted to take her to the splash pad or if I wanted to take her on a nice picnic, those $30 are pivotal.
When you hear the administration talking about the war in Iran, saying this is short-term pain for long-term security gain, as a single mom dealing with what you're dealing with, how do you hear that?
I hear it as an excuse in a way. Unfortunately, women in my position are feeling the brunt of it.
We drove with August to the grocery store.
I know we're focused on the rich. And then it's like, hey, what about us? So I bought 9 items today. We got water, ground beef, potatoes, bread, strawberries, 2 lemons, a juice, and milk.
And how much was it?
This was $49.16.
Is that pretty standard?
Pretty average. Every shopping trip, no matter what, is between $50 to $150.
She showed us the trade-offs she's forced to make daily in order to stay financially afloat and put food on the table.
When I know that I'm buying for the day, I usually will try to go and pick out the items that are the 20% off because at least you're getting 20% off and I know that I'm able to cook it within the same day. So that also helps play into budgeting.
Is there ever a week where you walk into the grocery store and your heart sinks because you feel like you just can't afford to buy what you need for your daughter?
Yes, more times than not. Even those extra little things like, goldfish or the little pouches of, her yogurt pouches, there are times where I'm like, sorry, baby girl. Let's just work with what we got. We're just doing fruit this week.
Jeremiah Program leaders say interest in the program has doubled in the last year, a sign of the deep and growing need in this underserved population.
How do you believe that the economic landscape right now is impacting single moms?
Generally, I think that the economic landscape is crippling single moms. But for the moms that live with us in JP, I think that had it not been for a JP, it probably would be much worse.
For these moms, affordability isn't an abstract concept. It's existential, and they're leaning on each other to get by.
We're coming together and cooking for each other. Hey, I don't have food tonight. It's okay, girl. I have food. So again, community has been everything.
Their collective circumstance playing directly into their view of politics, activating them to vote in the midterms and make their voices heard. August tells me she was raised a lifelong Republican and voted for President Trump in 2024.
And at the time, I was in a position to where I wasn't happy with both choices. But for me, I went through the things that were being promised, the things that they have already done, and for me at the time, choosing to vote, Republican was the choice that I made. But looking back now, I do regret my decision and know that moving forward, I'm going to take more time to really take a look at the bigger picture. I'm equally frustrated with both parties. I think on both sides, there's a lot of work that we have to do, and we need to start looking at what's going to benefit the people.
As for Andromeda, she says this economic moment has shaped her own daughter's political aspirations.
She's like, Mom, we're going to change this, and I'm going to give everybody a job at my place, and then we'll have extra snacks, and she'll share her dollars or her snacks with anyone that looks hungry on the streets. And she wants change as well. She actually wants to be the president.
Ariel Reshef, MS Now, Austin, Texas.
So I know that most baby moms think that their children are amazing, they're wonderful, they're God's gift to the planet. And to you, they are, and that's okay. But to the next man that is not the father of them, they are not dad, love, they are liabilities. And I just get so tired of getting on the internet hearing these narratives of women who are single moms, who are baby moms, try to paint this picture or give this narrative that for whatever reason, a man that is not the father of her children should somehow be grateful and ecstatic to be in her children's life because somehow they are just so much more special than the next child. It does not matter how you try to break it down. It doesn't matter how you try to sugarcoat it. At the end of the day, if that is not that man's children, then they are liabilities. It's as simple as that. They are liabilities. And literally, that's the message for today. Ladies, the only time that your children is not a liability, that is only for the baby father, right? The father of your kids, right? Because you guys created those kids together. So in that sense, no, they are not liabilities. But for every man that you date after that, for every man that you are hoping is going to pursue you, that is not the father of your child, they are seen as liabilities. It is what it is. It's not changing. They are liabilities. They are not as special to the next man as they are to you. And it's just something that you just need to deal with and get over and deal with reality. I'm tired of these modern women living in delusion. Let's get back to reality and deal with reality and the facts.